Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am about to do the 5 a.m. Writers Challenge. Now the reason I'm doing this is because my husband has been home recently with some Crohn's issues that we're working through, but it does mean that the time that I usually spent writing is just kind of non-existent right now, which we're enjoying his time home, so no complaints there, but I am falling wildly behind on my goal of writing one book in 1 quarter. So if you're interested in watching me do that, I will link the playlist. But the 5 a.m. Writers Challenge is really an attempt for me to not completely fail that goal. I'm hoping that if I can carve out a couple of hours here in the morning time to devote solely to my writing, that I will actually find some productivity and we will get through editing this book. I do have high hopes, which is weird because I'm not a morning person, so why? Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know, but it has been a few weeks later, so at the end I'm going to kind of give a little recap of like what came out of this challenge for me, because there were some pros and there were some cons, but without further ado, let's get into the actual vlog.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
So it is almost 7:30, which means my household is about to wake up and I'm going to need to switch gears. But my initial reaction to my first 5 a.m. writing session would be, I hate everything. Not really, but like a little bit. A little bit, that's true. I do feel like my brain just wasn't working for most of the writing. So I've been up for about 2.5 hours and I feel as if only truly 1 hour was spent writing. I'm hoping that's due just to the initial shock to the system of waking up at 5 and that tomorrow will be a lot more productive. That's the hope. I have no idea if that's how it's actually going to go, but I do feel like I'll settle in quicker tomorrow. I completely skipped chapter 1 because I wasn't about to mess with the opening of my book at 5 in the morning on the first writing session. Like, that just wasn't happening. So I'm in chapter 2 and I'm about halfway through. Ideally, I will finish a chapter a day with one double day where I finish at least 2 chapters, so that I can make my goal of finishing these edits by the end of June. So finishing half a chapter this morning is like progress, but I hope I can make more progress as the week progresses. But with it being the first day and just figuring out how it's going to go in the mornings, I'm pretty happy with half a chapter. I mean, the reality of the situation is this is half a chapter of work that would not have gotten done had I not woken up at 5. So I don't know. I guess, like, good job. We did it. Day 1, we did it.
glorious morning. Makes me sick.
session went really well this morning. I am unfortunately still on chapter 2, so I know I'm gonna need to pick up the pace, but I'm like out running errands today and I like legitimately can't think. Like I'm just like not functioning. So I don't know. I'm really hoping that I can settle into this routine, and I am planning on adding some evening sessions. However, I couldn't fit one in yesterday, and I can't fit one in tonight either because I'm going over to a friend's house for a little get together. So I'm actually really excited about that, but it means that writing is just gonna have to wait for now, which means I am gonna be left with a day later on this week that I'm gonna have to like make some really intense progress. So usually for me that's on Fridays, so we'll see how that goes, especially with the insane brain fog that I have waking up at 5 in the morning. I'm really hoping that that starts to go away.
Lord, bear me strength.
Good morning. So this morning was actually the easiest it has been to wake up, which I am like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Ah! Yes! Oh my god! That's so hot! It was horrible! Oh, I'm going to die! I'm so tired!
I feel happy that I'm not completely dead to the world, but also a little annoyed because it's Thursday and I'm not really making any progress. So I'm switching up what I'm doing this morning. I'm gonna do a quick treadmill walk, and then depending on how I feel, possibly a shower. Kind of just hoping that gets the blood flowing and my brain actually working, because like hardly any progress is actually being made. But I do actually want this to work. So I don't know. I'm trying. I'm really trying to make this work for me, so that I can have a time in the day where nothing else is expected of me, but I have time to write. So hopefully today just goes a lot better. I have another busy day today, so I don't know. The writing during the day just really isn't happening. So I just really need this to work. Yeah. Cheers. Okay, what time is it? Where's my phone? So it is now 6:15. I feel like an actual human today.
I'm not human, and I miss it. I miss it more than anything in the world.
I am sure that some of that is due to the fact that it is day 4 of this challenge and my body is finally getting acclimated to like having to wake up this early, and then maybe some of it is because I spent the first hour and 15 minutes walking on the treadmill and showering. So I don't know how I feel about that, because the point of this challenge was for me to be more productive with my writing and not like, you know, try to be that girl who exercises at 5 in the morning. That's not at all what I was trying to do. I do feel like the writing session is going to go a lot more positively this morning. So like, I don't know if that means in order for me to be productive with my writing at 5 in the morning, I have to start with exercising, or if it's just a simple thing of my body getting used to waking up this early. I don't know. I'm starting to think that a week long of this challenge isn't actually enough time to really sink into it and get the writing results that I was hoping for. But I'm gonna stop talking and actually get some writing done this morning. Dear Lord, I hope that I get out of chapter 2 today. I am so far behind from where I was hoping to be. Yeah, I'm just really gonna have to kick it into gear tomorrow because I have the whole day to write tomorrow, and I really feel like there's no way that I get through 7 chapters tomorrow. So yeah, that's where we're at with this whole 5 a.m. challenge. So it is like 5:15 and I think I'm just gonna do the same routine I did yesterday. Walk, shower, and then start writing because I feel like that went pretty well. So here we are. That's what we're gonna do. It is now 6:10. Hopefully you can see that. I walked on the treadmill for 20 minutes and then I went up and took a shower, zoned out hardcore, and now it is 6:10. So I have the 2 drinks that have been keeping me going. This I have been doing for the past 3 days. I think it's a wellness shot of ginger and turmeric. After I take it, it makes me kind of feel all warm and cozy, so I don't know if it's having the effect that I thought it would be having. And then of course a coffee because I would normally make my own coffee, but like I don't want to wake everyone up in my household because the kitchen is literally right in between all of the rooms, and I do have a toddler and I definitely don't want to be screwing up his sleep schedule. I feel like today has been the easiest to wake up by far, so like it gets easier every day. Yesterday's energy levels were the closest to normal they have been since I started this whole thing, and this morning I can tell that I do feel like a little bit more alive, even though I actually had a rough night last night. It is still hard to string coherent sentences together out loud. Hopefully I don't read through everything I have written and think it is just trash. So I am finally into chapter 3, which feels good to finally break into. I was just too dead to the world earlier this week to realize like why I was struggling so hard with it. I thought it was because of my main character's motivation change, because I had 2 scenes back to back that needed heavy edits, and really the problem was I didn't take into consideration how his father would change when I changed his motivation, because I want to keep their relationship pretty turbulent. And so when I changed the main character's motivation, it changed the tension between them, and I was just too dead to the world earlier this week to realize that it was that simple. So I was spinning my wheels with it way more than I think I typically would have. But anyways, I do have to take Andrew to an appointment this morning, so my writing session is going to be cut considerably shorter than it was yesterday. But I am going to circle back around and probably get some more writing done today. Fingers crossed, hopefully that actually happens today. So there you have it. That was me waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to write. However, like, no writing happened. So my one goal of being productive and actually moving through these edits really just didn't happen. I will say that there at the end, it was starting to get easier, and I did actually contemplate continuing on with the challenge just to see if my body needed more time to settle into the new time frames, which I really do think that was the problem. I think if I could have gotten settled in to the new schedule, that my brain would have started working and I would have actually found a lot of productivity in those hours. And so I am actually thinking about that. I didn't move forward with it then because when I took Andrew into his procedure, they weren't happy with where he was at and ended up sending him to the ER. So we kind of let stress make the decision of ending the 5 a.m. Writers Challenge at a week, which is typical anyway. But I am so curious to know what would have come of it had I stuck to it, because I really was starting to get the hang of the schedule. Andrew is starting to do much better now, but obviously in the moment was like a little stressful. So yeah, I did not continue waking up at 5 a.m. However, a huge pro did actually come with this challenge. Those last 2 days, I started waking up and walking on the treadmill, which was not my intention. I think I even said that earlier, where it's like, my goal here was not to like exercise, it was to write. However, one of my goals for the quarter is to exercise more. So it kind of just shifted my priorities, and I didn't have to use my brain for walking, obviously. So it fit in really well, and it kind of just kick-started this whole like health kick that I'm on now. I have definitely fallen into a health rut that is mostly due to stress, but I was just kind of sitting in that, and this challenge really ironically woke me up from that. I realized that if I can do this, if I can wake up at 5 a.m. and I can do this hard thing, then I can do other hard things. And so I'm really focusing in on my physical and mental health right now. I am essentially following a moderated version of 75 hard right now. If you don't know what that is, like, look it up for yourself. I'm not gonna take the time to get into that in this video, but I'm definitely doing like a healthier version of it. I am working out twice a day right now, but one is just a walk and then the other is like your actual normal workout. There's like a lot of rules to 75 hard and I'm really not following all of them, which is why I said moderated. But I just kind of used that challenge's like skeleton to plug into where I felt like I was at currently in my life. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but essentially I am finally prioritizing my physical health, my mental health. I'm starting to eat healthier, and all of this was ironically kicked off by the fact that I was waking up at 5 a.m. Every day for a week. I really do think I had just been accepting the fact that I was the stressed person who didn't have time to actually take care of myself in the way that I am now. And the 5 a.m. challenge is like this really intense, hard thing if you're not used to waking up at 5 in the morning, which I'm not. And it kind of just showed me, like, if I can do this, if I can do this hard thing, then I can do these other hard things that I've been making excuses for. So it was kind of like if you're not making excuses for this, then why are you making excuses for this when your health, your mental and physical health, is what, like, really should matter, right? So yeah, this has been a little random, a little rambly, completely unexpected, not at all what I thought the 5 a.m. challenge was going to do for me. So no, I'm not waking up at 5 or even 6 in the morning anymore, but I am still challenging myself. And I think that's just kind of healthy to sometimes look at your boundaries and be like, the battery died. So bear with me, but what I was talking about, boundaries. I think sometimes as humans, we kind of live in these boundaries and we just kind of accept them as the boundaries that we live in because we get used to them. But doing the 5 a.m. challenge kind of pushes those boundaries and shows us that sometimes we have boundaries that have been there for years that don't actually need to be boundaries, and they're actually kind of just keeping us from growing more and into the next stage of ourselves. So not to get super deep with the whole just a fun writing challenge, but it really did show me that I had like set these boundaries on myself. So yes, I definitely recommend this challenge. I definitely recommend pushing your boundaries every now and then just to see where you have outgrown the box that you've put yourself in. I know that for my writing, this was kind of a failure.
What are you doing?
Tom, now is not the time for criticism.
But I'm actually very happy with the results, and I'm happy that I did it. I'm kind of proud of myself that I managed to wake up at 5 in the morning. Again, not a morning person, and if you're not a morning person, you know, you might not hit your writing goals. That's just the truth of the matter. But somehow I still managed to have a little bit of fun with it. I still managed to learn something about myself. The writing, it will come. It will happen. I'm still focused on it. I'm still trying to get somewhere close to my writing goals. So if you're interested in watching this train continue to chug along and potentially crash and burn, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye! Also, I just realized it looks like this is growing out of my head, so love that.